Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the December 16th meeting of the Board of Supervisors, our last board meeting for 2014. Supervisor Kinsey's on his way, and I'm sure he'll be joining us soon. But I didn't want to delay any farther because our first order of business is very important. And I'm going to kick off by actually, and you bear with me because I think it's important to read the whole resolution from the board to Susan Adams. So, here we go. Whereas Susan L. Adams, Ph.D., has served as Marin County Supervisor of District 1 for 12 years, dedicating her energy and intellect to the needs of the people of her district and of the county as a whole. Susan also served on regional boards in the California State Association of Counties and the National Association of Counties, earning leadership positions in health and justice-related committees and initiating a women's network to encourage leadership. And whereas, although Susan had never held political office before her election as supervisor, her colleagues and staff quickly recognized her natural acumen and appreciated her thorough preparation for meetings, insight into issues that come before the board, and her thoughtful questioning and demand for clarity and accuracy. And whereas Susan is known for her warm heart, her great laugh, and her frugality and practicality in spending the public's money. And whereas Susan has drawn upon her background as a medical clinician, nurse, and professor to champion programs of social equity, health and wellness, environmental protection and sustainability, emergency and disaster preparedness, therapeutic justice for youth and the mentally ill, homelessness and affordable housing, and women's and family issues. And whereas, with integrity and courage, Susan has worked to solve many complex and difficult community issues, viewing her policy decisions through the lens of what is right and what is fair. She has remained true to her values, even when not politically expedient. And whereas Susan has supported and encouraged collaborations across departments and jurisdictions to address complex human needs and environmental issues, her influence at the local, regional, state, and national levels has encouraged policymaking that supports healthy people, healthy communities, and a healthy planet. Now, therefore, be it resolved, the Board of Supervisors of the County of Marin expresses to Supervisor Susan L. Adams its gratitude, congratulations, fond farewell, and warmest wishes for professional success and personal fulfillment in all her future endeavors. And I do need a motion. I need a motion to make that official. Could I have a motion?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. And Susan, before I turn this over to you, in addition to that resolution, I do want to give you a small gift from the board as a whole. This is not the last that you'll be hearing from us, but it is the first.
Yeah, relaxing at Indian Springs, one of my favorite spa retreats. Thank you so much. Thank you. Well, here we are today, 12 years after a long and exciting run. I think there is a lot to be proud of for what we've done as a community. And I've had some time to reflect on what all of this has meant to me in my life. And the most common denominator that comes through is the quality of the people that I've worked with over the last 12 years. There are so many people to acknowledge, and we only have a short while, so forgive me if I don't personally mention your name, but just know that if I've had even one interaction with you, you've fulfilled and enriched my life in ways that you won't know. But people, I do want to call out a few people, like Brian Crawford and Tom Lai and their team in planning, who've dealt with some incredible slings and arrows from the public with grace, respect, and a sense of humor. Dana Armanino, our green goddess of clean energy. Tracy Clay and Liz Lewis, who've made incredible steps forward with our watershed and flood control programs. And Eric Steger and Berenice, who manage the quarry issues with grace, knowledge, and community mindedness. Mike Daly, our Chief Probation Officer, I saw him in here earlier too, who not only believes in therapeutic justice but acts upon it in a significant way, going the extra miles to Sacramento with me to advocate for the much-needed funding for the upstream programs that keep people out of jails and healthy in our community. Fire Chief Weber, who's bringing his team into the arena, linking conservation, environmentalism, vegetation management together while at the same time protecting us from wildland fire. Under Sheriff Mike Ridgway, who delivered a Gold Lead certified new public safety building on time and within budget. Sean Stevens, whose compassionate engagement with our men and women who have served in the armed forces is a testament to the quality of the men and women in this 2,000-person body that are serving the people of Marin and county government. The numerous individuals in Health and Human Services, starting with the leadership of Dr. Larry Meredith and going through the ranks of management and staff from Heather Ravani, Matt Willis, Suzanne Tavano, to our public health nurses, epidemiologists, social workers, mental health providers, and all of the people in that division that help improve the quality of life for people who sometimes feel like there is nobody who cares. Diane Patterson, and the clerk of the board, who makes all of us, and her clerks, who make all of us, look really good by their work behind the scenes and behind the cameras so that the public can see the business of the people every time we're at this dais. To my aides, Susanna Clark and Kiki Laporta, and my past aide of 11 years, Rick Freitas, who've enhanced both my right brain and my left brain, and who are responsive to the needs of the First District, and sometimes some of the constituents have embraced them and loved them even when they may not have felt the same warm, fuzzy feelings about me. My dear friends and supporters, friends of Susan Adams, who have worked with me for 12 years on campaigns, birthday events, walking precincts, including Marge Newton, Ann Thomas, Susan Kerr, Ellen Kellogg-Smith, Tamara Hull, Bev Kell, Ed Vorst, Dottie Lemieux, Peter B. Collins, Michael Pritchard, and a number of others who've been the wind beneath my wings during this 12 years. And I'd be remiss if I did not acknowledge the very best county administrator in the whole country, Matthew Heimel, when other CEOs of large 2,000-plus employee private corporations are making millions of dollars, and they are not doing nearly the job that our county administrator is doing in running a complex county government, I would say the taxpayers are definitely getting their money's worth with him and his staff. Matthew, you and your team, in collaboration with our department heads and our line staff, brought us through the worst recession since the Great Depression, and through it all we maintained our AAA bond rating, healthy reserve, we even paid down our pension obligation, all the while providing quality service to the people of Marin County. And it's been a pleasure and an honor to serve with you. And I hope that someday perhaps even our local press will start providing more of the positive spin about what we do in local government, because there is so much to be proud of here. And I think the people don't really know what we do. During the last election cycle, there were some accusations about members of our board, including me, not listening to the community or having a big tent. But nothing could be further from the truth without engaging our community in Santa Venetia, which included Linda Levy, Mary Hanley, members of our flood zone, CSA 6, Gina Hagan, the Park Commission. A number of you are here today. We wouldn't have new pumps, inner ties, studies that launched the dredge and watershed program, purchase of Heron Hill, refurbishment of parks, a shuttle service, and many other programs. And our consent calendar today, we are celebrating 100 years of Santa Venetia and the vibrant community and the residents within, without engaging the community in Peacock Gap and the Dutras at the San Rafael Rock Quarry. We wouldn't have negotiated 172 conditions of operation, which both sides agreed was a fair deal, and which now, almost 4 years later, there has been relative peace in the land. And I wouldn't have a college credit in geology on mining operations if it hadn't been for this experience. Which still makes my mother laugh. Without engaging the community in Marinwood, we would not have come up with the guiding principles, which are good guiding principles for redevelopment of a derelict strip mall and the implementation of Phase 1, which brought us a really wonderful grocery store and a Saturday farmers market. Without engaging with the Santa Fe Chamber and the members of the business community, we would not have launched Venture Greenhouse. Without engaging our agricultural community in the Air District, we would not have received cap and trade opportunities for the Marin Carbon Project or fee offsets for agricultural burn days. Without engaging our licensed healthcare providers in the county, we would not have a nationally recognized medical reserve corps. There is not one thing I did, or for that matter, which any of our board members have done, without extensive input and support from many people in the community. And while we hear everybody, sometimes we know that we don't always make everybody happy. I know I must have ticked off everybody at least one time in my 12 years in office. But I also know that we are all here doing the best that we can for our community and with the best intentions for a community that we love. And of course, I just want to call out my colleagues on the Board of Supervisors from the past, Supervisors Rose and Murray, who I worked with, our lost colleagues and friends, Supervisors McGlashan and Brown. Each of them had their own styles, and they all contributed so much. And to my current colleagues, Supervisor Kinsey, with your work in our agricultural community and our local coastal program, to Supervisor Arnold with your eye on the economy and fair housing and affordable housing for our workforce, Supervisor Rice with your work in the Ross Valley on flooding issues and with our homelessness on our Homeless Policy Committee, Supervisor Sears with your really important focus on climate change and sea level rise. It's been such an honor serving with all of you. And all I can say is that I wish you the best as you meet the challenges ahead. And I encourage you to find the courage to be less politician, more stateswoman and statesman as you approach the challenges ahead. And sometimes that's a very difficult task, but there are some fights that are worth the risk of public office. And then I finally need to thank my family, parents, brothers, sister, I have 5 siblings, nieces, nephews, my children, my grandchildren, including the new baby that's going to be arriving in May, to my son, Jaron. Family and children have always been my top priority. It's been my family and my close friends that have kept me grounded, and some of you have become my chosen family, and you all know who you are. I spent a lot of time in birthing rooms bringing new babies into the world, and everything I did in my community, I did with the goal of improving the lives for all of our children, all of our families, but especially for our children. And so I want to introduce a video that will hopefully allow us some time to reflect on who we are. The video was done with the support of Michael Eisenmenger, director of our Public Media Center at the CMCM, something that we wouldn't have had without a lot of community support and input. Scott Calhoun, Government and Education Director, and especially Alejandro Palacios. Alejandro, wave your hand to our media people there, videographer, editor, and the artistry behind this beautiful video you're about to see. Cio Hernandez, who narrated, she's from Health and Human Services. Marin Cell students, and Kiki Laporta and Susanna Clark, my aide, who spent hours of time trying to get this right for you today. And with that, I will turn it over, and we'll have about 10 minutes of a video, and then I will turn it back to you, Madam President.
In my backyard, there's trees everywhere, and there's hills, and there's deer, and you hear the coyotes at night.
We're surrounded by so much natural beauty. It's so accessible.
You can just go up for hikes, and sometimes you're above the clouds.
But you're kind of in the perfect balance between like city and also like nature, so it's a perfect summer.
And we're just so close to so many cultural centers in California and centers of technology, and really the world is at our fingertips in Marin County.
I think that's one thing that Marin has to offer is a lot of different types of places you can be within this county.
Marin is a magical place. Standing on any high ridge in Marin, you can see the protected natural landscape that spreads out beneath your feet for miles and miles. No matter where you live, there's a trail or a park within walking distance. All this did not come about by accident. The protection of Marin's wild spaces has been driven by the vision of conservationists and the generosity of the community. In 1972, a new countywide plan restricted much of West Marin for open space and agriculture. The plan limits growth to protect precious open lands and balances that restriction by focusing new developments in the city-centered corridor, where Marin's early towns grew up around rail lines and train stations. Today, 80% of Marin County is protected open space. But achieving the balance and vision in the plan is not so easy. Preserving open spaces means concentrating housing, commerce, and transportation in the city-centered corridor. How do we provide options for our children, our workforce, and our seniors to live with as we strive to reduce our carbon footprint and address climate change? How do we retain the character of our communities as the world changes around us? We ask young people, high schoolers, college students, future leaders of their generation to talk with us about their experiences growing up here, what's important to them, what they love about Marin, and what they see ahead.
Marin is very consistent, and that's kind of what scares me.
You know, there's places like right on the other side of the bridge where it's hard. You know, it's really, really hard for people. Living here in Marin, I think it's so easy to lose sight of struggles that are outside of our bubble.
It's very easy to ignore other communities if you've been sheltered most of your life.
Some groups in Marin County are often underrepresented.
And I think a lot of the time we tend to look the other way and turn our shoulder.
The disparities are real, and those disparities we see it, we feel them, we listen. It's hard to buy a house in Marin. As much as we love to live in Marin, it was hard for me.
You know how it is. It's so expensive.
If it wasn't as expensive to live here, it'd probably be a little bit more diverse.
Whenever I tell people like I work for Boys and Girls Club, they're like, oh, there's a Boys and Girls Club in Marin? There's 4 people in Marin? Like, yeah, there's people everywhere that need help, you know, and here in Marin specifically, it's easy to kind of overlook those people because it's not right there in your face.
Stereotypes of Marin is very rich and very well off and very, yes, well off. So I don't know if that's like what Marin is looking for. And that's why I don't know like if they are looking to make Marin more diverse or just a place that is very well off and expensive but is comfortable that way.
I prefer to be in a setting where there are people that are different, where people's different beliefs provoke thought, you know, and you're able to kind of interact with people and see why they think certain ways.
That kind of can be hard for youth, like growing up in just a community that is so safe and so well off and so kind of comfortable, and then having to leave, and it might be tough to kind of adjust to new situations and new people and just so much more diversity.
I would say to make this Marin better for everyone and expanding like who can live here and the possibilities for all like the generations, like young people and also old, so that there's activities that people can do at night and also things for people who are retiring.
Working at the Boys and Girls Club, I work with youth from everywhere, from the highest income families to the lowest income families. And what I love seeing at my job is it doesn't matter how much your parents make, it doesn't matter what brand name you wear. What matters is that you want to play a game and it takes 2. It's really what makes this community work.
just walking down the street, just in Centerville, walking down 4th Street, and just seeing everything alive. Really like farmers market Thursday nights, and you go down and all the available stalls and everything. I feel like the county is alive, and it's not just a stagnant place. We're always evolving.
Moving forward, I think Marin has a bright future. People are actually paying attention now.
What is more concerning than things changing is them staying the same.
You have to be ready to adapt and change and not settle into regular old politics as it used to be.
If you're interested in policy, getting into politics, we don't need any more politicians. We need more statesmen and stateswomen. And that's something I'd really stress too. Too often, you see nowadays in Congress, the political parties are so polarized. No one wants to work together. We're not that generation. I don't think any of us want to be that generation.
It's not enough just to point fingers. We cannot keep pointing fingers for what is wrong. Is that we have to find solutions together.
But I think that if we have proper role models, if we begin to inform the populace, we should be fine. We should be moving in the correct direction.
You know, my dad growing up always told me, you are not here to see the change, you are here to be the change. And you know, he's always telling me cute little cheesy quotes like that. And as cheesy as they may be, they really help me move forward.
You have to keep active and keep working on something. And that all ties into keeping on the gas pedal and improving things in Marin, whether it be bringing back certain, places for kids to go so they don't just, stay home and return to something bad.
Because especially in the future, even now, you see these problems that can't be solved by a single person. And you need to work together with the people, and it's only going to get worse in the future. And so my wish would be that the leaders of the future see this. And so from their youth, the young age that they start to make change, they start to make change with their people, because it's going to be much more efficient, much more effective, and they're going to do a lot more.
And that's something that youth have. We're not afraid to reach across the aisle and work together and compromise and come up with solutions to problems.
I would remind my future self not to be afraid of change, that change could definitely be for the best. And even though it may not be change that directly impacts my life, it can make all the difference to someone else.
We have a lot of problems. We're going to fix them. I think we're going to fix them.
There's something that comes with all of us. Just work hard and hold on.
Somebody said we gotta leave Marin to do together.
Exactly. That's so true.
I'll definitely come back to Marin and raise a family here. And also, I know that my parents always say they're going to stay in Mill Valley for like the rest of their life, so I'll come back for them too.
If I move back, when I move back, push to get youth more into the system. Because I know we're doing that now, but even in the future, if it's not where it needs to be, then just push so that they have an equal say in what happens in our community.
Throughout middle school and high school and elementary school, I've been here and I've loved it. And I went away for school, for college, and I've come back. And it's hard not to want to come back here.
The community of Marin County is beautiful, and I'd love to live here. I'd be blessed to live here again. But we'll see what the future has in store for not just me, but all of us.
In this short segment, we've heard from our young people about what's important to them. The beauty of the natural environment, the quality of life in our community, the challenges in finding a place to live in a community that they love, avoiding stagnation and embracing diversity. Who are we as a community, and what do we value? Do we believe that when all of us do better, all of us do better, or will we be guided by unfounded fears? Do we truly value the hardworking people that make up the beautiful tapestry of our community? Do we have compassion for the homeless members of our community? Or is caring for the poor something we only pay attention to and give lip service to in our places of worship? And finally, What future do we wish for our children and our grandchildren? Do we want them included in our community as they grow into adults? Do we want them to thrive? This county has had a history of visionary leaders who've not been afraid to rock the boat and move policy, often pushing against those who did not want to change the status quo. People like Vera Schultz and her work in creating the Civic Center. The visionary county planners and elected officials and community leaders of the 1970s who created the earliest visionary sustainability concepts in the first general plan, and who targeted coastal and rural agricultural lands for protection while designating inland urban transit corridors as the appropriate places for our growth and development. There's much work ahead, and my wish is that the members of this beautiful county tackle these tough issues from a place that begins with a loving heart, an open mind, and a goal towards solutions.
As you can see, we have some pretty amazing young people who have a lot to say about who we are as a county. So thank you for giving me that time today.
That was fabulous. So now I want to give people in the audience an opportunity to comment on this matter. So if there, so come forward to the microphone.
All right, my name is David Solo, and I'm the CEO of the Boys and Girls Clubs of Marin and Southern Sonoma Counties. And Mary Ann Hoover is a board member and with the Marin Women's Commission. And we just wanted to, bottom of our heart, thank Susan for all your support. Susan, when we first came to Marin County, we'd been in Petaluma for 50 years, the Boys and Girls Clubs. We came to Marin in 2009 at Davidson. Susan was the first supervisor that became engaged with the Boys and Girls Clubs. And what I love about Susan is, not only have we been able, through Susan's support, to seek county funding, and the key word is grant, right, Susan? Grant. Not only have we been able to do that, but Susan got involved from a personal standpoint with the club. And so would attend events not only in Marin, but in Petaluma, where there was no political gain to do that. So it showed that Susan bought into the Boys and Girls Club, gave personally to the club, took an interest in the program and the kids, and even volunteered at Comcast Cares Day when she really didn't have to do that, and actually worked that day to help beautify the club at Davidson. So Susan's done a ton for us, and the funding, for the Boys and Girls Clubs, for the 12-passenger van and computers and everything else, and helping, and all the board get more involved with the Boys and Girls Clubs. So from the bottom of our heart, we wanted to thank you, and we have this token of our appreciation from the kids of the Boys and Girls Club. They've all signed this picture and plaque for Susan, and we wanted to present this to you.
Good morning.
Hello, everybody. I am Carol Mills, and I'm officially here representing Senator Mike McGuire and Assemblymember Mark Levine, who have commissioned a California state resolution from the legislature that is much too long to read and has way too many whereases in it, but acknowledges all the contributions that you've made. In particular, I'm here to represent my former bosses, Senator Noreen Evans and particularly Senator Mark Leno, who counted on you and your wisdom and your commitment to the community to keep him posted on what was important here in Marin County, and developed a friendship with you, as I certainly have over the many years, and wanted me to particularly thank you for your critical vote on Marin Clean Energy. I adore you. I know we will be friends long after politics fades into the background. And it is with great joy I present you with this resolution.
I have a small condo.
So much wall space.
Supervisor Adams, I'll keep this brief, but Jenny Cook, the chair of the Marin Coalition, called this morning. She's very sick, and she really is disappointed that she can't be here, and thank you personally, but she asked me if I would just make a couple of her comments for you, and I'll send you the full comments, but I'll just want to mention a few, because you have been a loyal and fierce advocate for all the goals of the Smoke-Free Marin Coalition, and since you arrived here, I just want to mention a couple of the accomplishments that you have particularly supported. Our entrances to the buildings are smoke-free, recreational areas, playgrounds are smoke-free. We're the first county fair in the country to go 100% smoke-free. We have multi-unit housing protections to prevent health and fire dangers, e-cigarette restrictions. All the Marin Hospital campuses and colleges are now smoke-free. The enactment of a tobacco retail licensing ordinance to stop stores that prey on our youth, and the tobacco-free pharmacy policy that was just passed this past summer. A significant social change to help the residents of this county, and we also did that through our tremendous contractors, Beth Lillard and Alyssa Ralston from BACR, who have just saved a tremendous amount of lives with their cessation and youth outreach. On behalf of the Coalition and Tobacco-Related Disease Control Program, we thank you for your leadership in tobacco control, and we wish you best.
Board members, Sean Stevens from the Veterans Service Office. Supervisor Adams, I am so grateful for our friendship. I know many of you know the story, but I landed here March 5th, 2010 from Afghanistan. Joan Brown, through her incredible ways, I had initially signed up to volunteer in the welfare eligibility office, because that's what I knew, that's what I did for the state of Arizona. And in a simple phone call on a Friday, she said, "Don't be an idiot. The guy needs help. Can you?" And I said, "I'll be there Monday." She told me Mort was 93 years old. He was in the veterans office, and he needs a volunteer. And I was like, "All right, I'll be there Monday morning." And that was the kickoff. Had I known how incredible it would become. And then, as a volunteer, you were the first board member that I had come in contact with, and you opened up the opportunities. You opened up the county, yourself, to me as not only as my boss, but as a friend, and as a veteran as well. I am grateful for everything you have done for veterans. I know that work started well before I got here with the HUD-VASH housing, with introducing VA to the New Beginnings Homeward Bound programs, and I can't thank you enough. Happens every time.
That's what I have this up here for.
On behalf of all veterans in the county of Marin and the Veterans Service Office and myself especially, thank you very much for everything you've done.
Good morning. My name is Mary Jane Burke. I'm the Marin County Superintendent of Schools, and I bring greetings from the children of Marin County to you, Susan. And so I want you to imagine for a moment that there's about 60,000 kids in this audience. So just picture, right? And they couldn't all be here because they have to be in school. Some of them, the school-age children, right? But what we thought we might do on behalf of the children was to put something together that would be childlike, potentially. So everybody, look for your pieces of paper, please. Board of Supervisors will need a copy if they don't have one yet, and the county administrator for sure. Before I begin, I would like to say to the supervisors that what we know about Susan is that she would be the first, with humility, to give credit for all I'm about to sing about to all of you. And so there's great acknowledgement that it's never about a single person when miracles happen in a community, but it does take a single person to move forward a strong agenda on behalf of all of us. So I think everyone's going to know this tune. I don't think I have to put this on. That's the thing, right? But you get it. You get the whole concept. So we're going to the song is the 12 Days of Christmas, but you get it, the 12 years, right? So it's very important. All right, so ready? 1, 2, 3. In her first year of office, Susan gave to us a stronger community. In her second year of office, Susan gave to us a health and wellness campus and a stronger community. In her third year of office, Susan gave to us help for the poor, health and wellness campus and a stronger community. In her fourth year of office, Susan gave to us less teen drinking, help for the poor, health and wellness campus, and a stronger community. This is a big one. In her fifth year of office, Susan gave to us support for the less teen drinking, help for the poor, health and wellness campus, and a stronger community. In her sixth year of office, Susan gave to us mental illness treatment, support for our kids, less teen drinking, help for the poor, health and wellness campus, and a stronger community. In her seventh year of office, Susan gave to us neighborhood engagement, mental illness treatment, support for our kids, less teen drink, help for the poor, health and wellness campus, and a stronger community. In her eighth year of office, Susan gave to us standards for green building, neighborhood engagement, mental illness treatment, support for our kids, less teen drink, help for the poor, health and wellness campus, and a stronger community. Okay, we're going to go a little quicker. In her ninth year of office, Susan gave to us habitat restoration, standards for green building, neighborhood engagement, mental illness treatment, support for our kids, less teen drinking, help for the poor, health and wellness campus, and a stronger community. In her 10th year of office, Susan gave to us flood protection planning, habitat restoration, standards for green building, neighborhood mental illness treatment, support for our kids, less teen drinking, help for the poor, health and wellness campus, and a stronger community. In her 11th year of office, Susan gave to us safer roads for walking, flood protection planning, habitat restoration, standards for green building, neighborhood engagement, support for our kids, less teen drinking, help for the poor, health and wellness campus, and a stronger community. Everybody stop. Okay, now I want you to note the next paragraph. It doesn't say Susan gave to us. It says Susan left for us. So that's small, little change of words, but very important from all of us to you for all of the leadership you've provided in our community, and most especially around our children. Okay, ready? Left for us? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. In her 12th year of office, Susan left for us Infrastructure building, safer roads for walking, flood protection planning, standards for green building, neighborhood engagement, mental illness treatment, support for our kids, less teen drinking, help for the poor, health and wellness campus, and a stronger community.
Well, I'm so sorry for the rest of you in line now.
You know, when I stood up in line and I saw I was behind Mary Jane Burke, I thought about sitting down first. Always a hard act to follow. Len Rifkind, former Larkspur mayor and proud coach of the San Rafael High School mock trial team. On behalf of everyone here and all the people in Marin County that couldn't be here, Supervisor Adams, we thank you for your service. I have two blessedly short quotes that I think illustrate, first, the effect of your service on Marin County as illustrated by your character. What lies behind you and what lies ahead of you are small matters compared with what lies within you. Behind you is 12 years of a stellar career as a supervisor of this county. What lies ahead of you is a very bright future. And I know this from my community work with you because of your unimpeachable character trait, and I call it integrity. Finally, a short quote by Voltaire. Appreciation is a wonderful thing. It makes what is excellent in others belong to us as well. The people of Marin County appreciate your service, and because of it, we're all better for it. Thank you, Susan.
Noah Griffin. There are loyal hearts, there are spirits brave, there are souls that are pure and true. Then give to the world the best you have, and the best will come back to you. Give love, and love to your life will flow, a strength in your utmost need. Have faith, and a score of hearts will show their faith in your word and deed. Give truth, and your gift will be paid in kind, and honor will honor meet. A smile that is sweet will surely find a smile that is just as sweet. Give sorrow and pity to those who mourn. You will gather in flowers again the scattered seeds of your thought outborn, though your sowing seem but vain. For life is the mirror of king and slave. 'Tis just what we say and do. Then give to the world the best you have, and the best will come back to you. Thank you for giving us your best.
Hi, Susan. I haven't really prepared anything, so I hope I don't lose it. But I have to tell everyone in this room that I am the first person who found this woman. She would not probably be here today if I hadn't helped her push off her career. The story goes, my husband and I, about 12 years ago, maybe a little bit more, went to the movie theater one night, and we were sitting waiting for the movie to begin, mulling over who could we possibly vote for in one of the coming elections. And I made the comment, well, honey, I just don't know who I can vote for. And this rather lovely young woman sitting directly in front of me turned around and said, you can vote for me.
Always campaigning.
And I said, all right, tell me why I should vote for you. So she proceeded to tell me why I should vote for her. And when she was through, I said, My dear, I will not only vote for you, I will work for you. And ever since, I've worked for Susan Adams along with the rest of her Friends of Susan Adams people. This is how Susan acquired her support. People would hear her speak in small groups, in large groups. Her intelligence, her integrity, her drive, her love for this county of Marin, her home, came through every time she spoke. I knew all the time that she was supervisor that Marin was in good hands. She has very big shoes to be filled. I don't know if they ever will be filled like she did. There's so much she has done for our county, and I really don't think people realize what she has done for our county. So much has been said that I don't really have to repeat what she's but I do want to say that, Susan, there are so many people in Marin who love you and who really, really appreciate what you have done for us. I am one of them. And that day in the theater, I not only became your first volunteer, but I became a very dear friend.
Good morning, Michael.
Good morning. Michael Eisenmaker. I'm the director of the Community Media Center of Marin, which I think was too many syllables for the song. But I think it's really important to acknowledge Susan's efforts in helping to create the center. I don't know if all the supervisors realize the role that she played very early on. The center's been around 5 years, but 10 years before that there was planning and negotiations, and Susan was instrumental in buying time, creating the space for the dialogue that was necessary to create this. And I'm told by several of my board members, without her assistance and dedication, there never would have been a center. So now, 5 years in, 3 channels, we're about to add a 4th because we have so much government content. It's grown into something I hope that fits your vision. You had a vision that in that wasteland of commercial cable TV, there was a space that was there for local voices, for government, education, and community, and you fought for that, and if not for that, we wouldn't be here. So on behalf of my board, my staff, and our hundreds of users, thank you very much.
And the beautiful work, you saw evidence of their beautiful work today.
Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Linda Levy, and I am one of the members of the Santa Venetian Neighborhood Association Board. And I, of course, forgot to prepare something also. So we're going to wing it here. We have been assisted by Susan. She has listened to us. She has listened to our complainers. She has listened to our congratulators. She has listened to all of us. She has opened her office to us. And I know Susan has also opened her office to other members of the community. She was not stingy with her time. She volunteered. She came out. She showed up. She got in the dirt. She worked hard. And we just want to thank her for all those years of helping us and advocating for us and pushing for our needs and giving of herself. And thank you from me, and the rest of the board wants to say something also. Gina, go.
Hi, my name is Gina Hagan, and Susan, just as a member of the community and just personally, I just don't really have the words to express my deep gratitude to you for all of the impacts that you have made on my life personally and the bettering the lives and adding value to the community and the county. I think that you're an inspiration to all of us, young and old, and it has been such an honor and pleasure to have you as our supervisor, and we just wish you the best. And I know that this is a new opportunity for you, and we hope that that we will continue to be warmed by the light you've shed on our community for generations. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Susan. This is a personal note. You know, just the effect you've had on me is that I got over my shyness about my trepidation of, oh my God, I'm talking to an elected official. Oh, goodness, what do I do? So, meeting with you, I thought, I can do this. Susan is a warm, generous person who just takes down barriers, and I thank you for that.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm just grateful for all that you've done, and we got a January meeting coming up to be looking for a State of the County address, and it's just not going to be the same without you.
Thank you.
I just want to say, as a past president of the SBNA board, how much I enjoyed working with Susan for this time. It's really funny. It's like 10 years ago, I was elected president of the board at that time, and then I was told, oh, well, now you need to go talk to Susan. And it's like, we didn't really know Susan very well, and I was like braced for like, well, I'm going to have to get into a fight about something. I'm used to getting in fights. But, you know, it was such a wonderful upside surprise to like actually go in and talk to Susan and just realize there's a real meeting of the minds here. Like we actually value the same things. And that's the thing that's really, it's given me a lot more momentum to continue more in the neighborhood service, and I've enjoyed working with Susan over the years, knowing that there are people representing us who do really value the same things and want to accomplish the same good things for our community. So thanks, Susan.
One thing I forgot to thank Susanna and Kiki for all the help they've given us too. Nice. I just want to say that because when Susan couldn't be available, they were. And Susan, we're presenting you with the vase that we had engraved, and I can't remember exactly everything it says, and we didn't want to unveil it, but one of the things it says is "You're amazing" from the SBNA.
Nice. Thank you. Good morning.
Hi, Susan.
Hi.
I made you a Christmas card at the Enterprise Art class on Saturday, which of course is at the Health and Wellness campus, and I wrote, "Merry Christmas, Susan Adams. I wish you the best in your future endeavors. My name is Steve." My friend Matt signed the card, and he invited you to come to art and drama classes at the Enterprise, and my friend Marie signed the card too, and so did Marissa, who's the art director at the Enterprise on Saturdays. So feel free to come down to the Enterprise and come to my drama group on Thursday mornings at 11 a.m. and art class on Saturdays from 1 till 4 p.m. Merry Christmas. Thank you.
Well, that's a hard one to follow. I'm Kathy Gaines. Susan, you are my neighbor and my friend, and we've worked together for your whole 12 years in office on our Marinwood issues. And I know I can only speak for myself officially, but I see a number of my neighbors and partners in the Friends of Marinwood and those of us that formed the guiding principles. And we could not have done that without you. We would not have the Marinwood Market without your tireless work. And we will continue the work. Hopefully you will continue to join us. And we will bring bridge housing to Marinwood. And we will make our Marinwood community an even better place to live. We'll have wonderful new neighbors and all those shops and cafes and all those things we've been wanting for the last 10 years. So I think I speak for myself and for a number of us in the room. Thank you for everything.
Good morning. My name is Jean Zeruto, and I would say that I met Susan in 2002. Not to be too heavy on the SVNA, but at the time I was the president of the board of directors. And I was given the opportunity to monitor or moderate the very heated debate with the candidates. It was more of a forum. I had never met Susan Adams until that night. Susan Adams showed up on my doorstep several days later to ask me why her lawn sign was not in my front yard. Let's just say that I have regretted not voting for Susan Adams since that day, and have had the privilege of working for her and with her, where I have been blessed with leadership in several organizations in the county. In addition to the work that the Santa Benicia Neighborhood Association Board mentioned, we should not forget that Susan was the first person in an elected capacity to support the community emergency response training. And she actually oversaw our crazy 7.9 emulated earthquake drill with the fire department, and this woman was down in the weeds, and she was a certified worker as well. We figured it was really cool to have a supervisor who was also a trained medical professional. Today I come on behalf of the Marin History Museum Board of Directors, where I am blessed right now to be the president. And Susan has gone through a lot with the museum, but one thing she has always encouraged is that we continue the work to preserve the history of Marin County, and now I'm getting emotional. Susan has gone through lots with us. She has made personal checks of her contributions, and it was with her leadership and encouragement that the board of directors listened to the museum board, and for the first time in 79 years, you all wrote us a check to help us pay the rent. And Susan, thank you for your leadership in getting there. The board has awarded you a lifetime membership in the Marin History Museum. You are amongst only 5 people with a lifetime membership. So thank you very much.
Hi Susan, I'm Paul Fordham from Homeward Bound of Marin, and I'll be brief, but I'd just like to thank you for your courage and leadership. It takes a lot of courage to stand up for the vulnerable people in our community, and you've been a very strong, outspoken leader for homeless people, particularly veterans, people who are medically fragile, and really standing up for the affordable housing we need in this community. So thank you very much. And you know, many other roles, from volunteering with the one-day count and going out in all kinds of areas of the county where people don't normally set foot, and leading us with the Homeless Policy Steering Committee. You've really thrown your full range of talents and emotions into this issue, and yeah, really thank you. I'm most full from the courage. So, Homeward Bound, we only know one way to thank people, and that's with chocolates. So we have some. Thank you very much.
So, Nona Dennis, now for a word from your environmental fan club. No one asked me to represent the fan club, but I see some of the icons sitting here in the audience, and many, many more who are not here. Barbara Salzman over here from Marin Audubon, Marge Macris, who was part of that first plan in 1973, Don Dickinson, who has kept us alive in the Planning Commission for God only knows how many years, Randy Greenberg, Ann Thomas, to name a few who are here. From St. Vincent Silvera Ranch at the beginning to Heron Hill close to the end, you have listened to us, you've put up with us, but most of all, you have listened to us and acted on what we felt was right for the community. We want to thank you. We know that you're going to go on to do great things, but the rest of Marin County really is grateful for all you've done to save the special places in this county. Thank you.
No, this was legitimate. Rick Freitas, former aide to Supervisor Adams' boss, I want to tell you that it's been a pleasure those 11 years to work with you. It was just a fabulous experience. You're just a very incredibly hard worker, and I just wanted to mention one thing that wasn't on this list that you took part in, and more than took part in, you made it happen, and that is the San Rafael rock quarry situation that was out there. Been going on for decades. Problems with the neighbors and the rock quarry and air quality and so forth and so on. And no supervisor would touch that with a 10-foot pole. It was a very divisive issue. But you did. You stuck to it. You brought the parties together. You worked for at least 2 years to bring this thing together, and you finally came up with an incredible solution. Both parties shook hands, and very equitable solution, and it saved the day out there as far as I'm concerned. I had a list of all your attributes, but your perseverance on that issue was one of many that you brought over the finish line, as you like to say. But I guess my strongest belief in you and your quality, your strongest quality in my opinion, is your ethical conduct. It's just exceptional. In today's world, especially when you look to D.C., you don't see a lot of that activity, but you certainly have it here. You have other colleagues that have a strong ethical conduct too, but I think that is your strongest attribute. But again, I want to say that it was a pleasure and I won't say a thrill, but but it was.
Sometimes it was thrilling.
Well, those spas weren't too bad. But I just want to thank you for keeping me employed, and best of luck in whatever you take on. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, supervisors and boss. Following Rick, my tenure here has been very short, but not lacking in either excitement or controversy. Obviously, everything that can be said about you that is wonderful and true and authentic has been said. I can't really add much to that except to say that all elected officials are charged with representing their constituents. When there's consensus, that's an easy job. When there isn't consensus, all you have to fall back on is what everyone here has been talking about this morning, and that's your heart, your morality, your compassion, your understanding, your knowledge, and your conviction for what's right. So that's what leadership's about, and I want to thank you for 12 years of courage, vision, and leadership. It's been an honor to work for you and the people of District 1.
Thank you.
Susan, I had a whole lot more to say, but it's all been said here by everyone. It's been very, very touching. I believe you will be remembered in this community for your vision, your incredible positive attitude, your integrity, and your tenacity to do the right thing. I believe that your legacy will be a strong and positive one. So, Susan, thank you for staying true to yourself and seeing the opportunities in every situation, and for seeing the light at the end of the tunnel when a lot of us don't see it yet. Thank you for your loving heart and your open mind. Thank you for dedicating the last 12 years of your life to the people of this community. And I thank you for the privilege to serve you and the people of District 1 and Marin County the last 8 years. I wish you calm seas and a steady but gentle wind in your sails on the next leg of your journey. Thank you.
Fred Mayer, representing Pharmacist Planning Services and Marin County Pharmacists Association, a 50-year resident of Terra Linda, and now Smith Ranch, Susan. We'd like to thank you, the Marin County Pharmacists, for 12 years of your hard work. We'd like to thank you for starting the first take-back program in the United States in 2004 to take back all old, outdated drugs. We'd like to thank you for 12 years of leading the charge for e-cigarettes and getting tobacco out of pharmacies. Without you, we couldn't have done it. We'd like to thank you for the March drug abuse campaign that you started and continue to start in all your efforts. We'd like to thank you for the Kerner Health Center and all your role take care of mental health in this county. And finally, we'd like to thank you for making Marin County the #1 health county in the United States and probably all of California, for all your hard work. Thank you, thank you, thank you for your 12 years of hard services, Susan.
Wow. I never know what I say when I stand up here until later. So I think that's true of a lot of us. Thank you for making this county accessible. And for creating a world that works for all of us. Thank you, Ms. Susan.
So as with all good agenda items, we welcome public testimony, and then we bring the matter back to our board. And that's what we're going to do now. And so I'd like to turn first to Supervisor Arnold.
Sure. Susan, on behalf of the Marin Transit District, we have a resolution for you for your years of service to making transit available, not just only in your district, although you've done a great job there with your shuttles, but really for the whole county, and for your compassion and for your strong leadership. We have here, which I've hidden from you, a resolution from the Marin Transit District. All right. And then you have another gift, and the general manager of SMART was sorry he couldn't be here today, but on behalf of the SMART Board of Directors, we have for you a railroad crossing.
Is it a quiet zone?
It lights up, and it says Transit Station Susan Adams, Train Station San Rafael.
All right, Supervisor Rice.
Susan, just a couple brief words. One, I wanted to share with everyone that's here and remind Susan how much you meant to Hal Brown. And Hal and Susan shared a wall. And I'm thinking maybe sometimes Susan could hear Hal, but more often Hal could hear Susan.
That's how it happened.
Hal kept a photo, had a photo of Susan that he kept in his office, and he would kept it. It was tucked into the picture frame behind him, and he would sometimes turn and without saying anything, look at it and roll his eyes a little bit when Susan came up. And it was this photo was taken when Susan was probably 9 or 10. And she was standing next to a friend of hers, and she's beaming, and she's wearing a Girl Scout outfit, and her friend is next to her, shorter, not beaming as much, but smiling, also wearing a Girl Scout outfit. And Susan's Girl Scout outfit is covered with pins. And she's beaming, and her friend is smiling too, but her friend doesn't have. And Hal used to look at that picture and go. So Hal would roll his eyes often up here on the dais, listening to Susan. But you know how much he loved you, and he admired you for your spirit and your integrity and your bravery. And I just wanted to remind you of that. And thank you for the support that you've given me in my role sitting up here. I've appreciated that as well. Let's see. I think everything has been said about Susan, except what maybe Supervisor Sears or Supervisor Kinsey's going to say. But the county family also wanted to be sure to show their appreciation. So I have a few things for you that have been contributed to. I've got a big basket of stuff with little gifts from the entire county family, and I'm going to start. I'm not going to get to all of them, but I want to pull out a couple. So first off, from DPW. You know, you can read that with different intonations. Broadway
Or Susan Adams. Way.
Can't even lift it. I have this great big basket, and it's an emergency preparedness basket. and in here, it's heavy, in her, it's got all the right words on it in front. Emergency survival kit. Everything that you might ever need going forward in your life. And you can't, there's everything from a haiku in here from Bob Beaumont to tricks of the trade from the assessor's office. and the county family we love you, and all the departments appreciated every interaction and your support, and you're willing to work through issues that come across their desk as well as yours. And I don't know if any of the county family is going to come up to speak, but when you go home, you're going to feel a lot of heartfelt stuff in here for your life going forward.
Supervisor Kinsey.
Thank you. Thank you all for coming. For me today is really gratifying to hear the expressed appreciation, the real sincere love that so many in the community have felt for Susan. And we know it's been a rough year, and there's been really unkind things said along the path that she has traveled with us. And so to be in a room that's filled with joy, appreciation, acknowledgement, is a way to send her out into the universe she's heading into in the right way. And I want to add just my voice. As we think back on our 12 years together, I think the one small gift that I come back to is the book that Jack Cornfield wrote that I shared with you, and it continues to resonate for me and I think for you as well. And one of the quotes in that book, which is intended to be a small instruction book on staying cool in the middle of the pressured world that you've been living in, is the suggestion that when you're leading, be generous with your community, honest in your words, and sincere in your actions, and you've lived up to that fully. So thank you so much.
So Matthew Heimel would like to say something.
Well, just to follow up on Supervisor Rice's comment, on behalf of the whole county family, I just wanted to say a few words. And what comes to mind is what my 14-year-old son says, which is, "It's been a great ride." He says that to me every birthday. So I want to thank you for the comments you made earlier about my office and our entire county team. I want to thank you for all your hard work these last 12 years. Some of the accomplishments that I think about is fulfilling the vision of the Health and Wellness Campus, achieving the long-standing goal of a public safety building that can respond in a major earthquake, thoughtfully responding to the economic downturn, all our trips to Sacramento, fighting on behalf of the county as our CSAC rep, as the emergency services director, going through the storms and the oil spill. And doing that in such a really thoughtful way. The other thing that comes to mind is the year when you were the board president and we had to deal as a county family with the death of Charles McGlashan, our supervisor, and Hal's illness at the same year. And you really did that in a wonderful way, very motherly way. in a very nurturing and supportive way. And so thank you for that. And that would be my most important thing. Other than the accomplishments, I want to thank you personally and on behalf of the county employees on your nurturing and supportive way. That's what really strikes me, that you allowed us to do the best work we could, and we appreciate that. Nice. Thank you.
So a lot has been said, and I will be brief. But Susan, I want you to know, with your departure, I'm a little worried that we're losing our gender balance. We finally got it right. But Susan, like so many other people, I really do want to thank you personally. Susan was the first supervisor who I met after I had been appointed to this position and before I took office. And Susan reached out to me, and we got together in Sausalito and had just a fantastic conversation. And it was such a generous, heartfelt act, and it made me feel so welcome. And that was really a wonderful way to begin my service on this board. And so thank you very much. Everyone said everything they should be saying about you, and so I won't go on longer, but I want to give you an opportunity to have the final words.
Thank you, and I will be brief. I'm going to quote some words from Ralph Waldo Emerson that I've tried to live by in my life. But first, I want to give out the sign. Some of you know this sign. It's a heart bubble. And whenever you're feeling stressed or you're feeling the negativity coming your way, push it away and center on your heart. And when we work from our heart and from a place of love, all things are possible. And so with that, I'll close with the words from Ralph Waldo Emerson. To laugh often and love much, to win the respect of intelligent persons and the affection of children, to earn the approbation of honest critics, and to endure the betrayal of false friends, to appreciate beauty, to find the best in others, to give of oneself, to leave the world a little better, whether by a healthy child, a garden patch, or a redeemed social condition, to have played and laughed with enthusiasm and sung with exultation, to know that even one life has breathed easier because you have lived. This is to have succeeded. So thank you all for being here and for your generous words today. It meant a lot to me.